Hi, this is dslyecxi. Today's video is going to be something a little different. It's something I've wanted to do for a while, but I've never really had the opportunity for. In short, this is a close air support mission that I'm flying, in which I'll just give commentary on what's happening. This isn't live commentary, this is recorded after the fact. The mission we're playing here is Schrodinger's cat. In this, a special forces team has been shot down. They're about 8 men strong, and they're about to be swarmed by enemies from pretty much all directions. The only hope they have is for us to mount up in our aircraft, fly in there, and support them. The only combat aircraft we have is my Littlebird, the AH-6. We also have 2 MH-6 Littlebirds, which you can see over to my front right, and 2 Blackhawks, which do have door guns, but they're not super effective. They're M240s. Actually, they're Sea-Knights, but or Seahawks, so whatever. The Special Forces team is by the crash site of their Blackhawk. It's been shot down. It's all jacked up, and they need to destroy the crypto before they're extracted. The problem is, for gameplay purposes, they can't destroy the crypto. Only we can. The QRF force the Blackhawks or the Seahawks are bringing in has to set down, make their way to the crash site, secure the crypto, and then extract the Special Forces team members and get them out of there. On the way here, we have very minimal comms with the Special Forces team, unfortunately. For whatever reason, they decided that they weren't going to be very talkative to us. This includes them not giving us any real indications about where the enemy is coming from. So most of the target spotting this is going to be done visually by the aircraft versus relayed from the ground. This makes it slightly less effective, but you gotta roll with what you have. And this is how it was for us. As we're nearing the target area, I'm sweeping off to the left to check out one of the potential LZs. And as I'm getting to it, if you look, you can see a yellow sign in the center on the road that goes from left to right. Follow it up and to the left, and there's a valley on that mountainside.
LZ Coco is hot. There's people on the hillside.
On the left edge of that valley, I can see a ton of infantry moving down that. So that LZ's hot. I call it as hot, and I pull off. The reason I don't engage these guys is because it's the beginning of the mission. They're on a hillside. Blasting them, while easy, isn't necessarily going to be the most fun for them. So instead I peel off and look for the other LZ, because they need to divert now. Flying over, this LZ appears cold. This early in the mission, you'd expect to see a large mass of troops if there's anything here. And looking around the little ridge line nearby, in the open areas, I don't see any significant movement, so I call it as clear. As I'm coming back around, continue to scan, still nothing really there. You can see the crash site smoking in the center of the town.
LZ break appears roughly clear.
There's nothing here. I don't see anything. As I look back, the other transport Littlebirds are flying by, and they've drawn fire from that mountainside. So I see the tracers coming at me. He might have figured out that I'm the actual Littlebird with teeth, so I pull away. As I look back at him, I can see that he's not really... He kind of seems like he's trying to distract me. He sees me turn, he gets up and he runs behind the ridge. It's like he's baiting me over there. That's a little too obvious, so I don't go for it. Instead, I start scanning the other areas that I haven't cleared yet around the town. And as I do, I see this little double barn, and more or less an entire enemy squad headed towards it.
There's enemy approaching Modesta from the southwest by those barns.
This is an extremely dangerous threat. They're about to hit hard cover, so I call it in, I do the thing as fast as I can, cut left, drop in on them, get some rockets. Get one rocket in the center, it looks like 2 of them, and then one on one of them. It seems like good effects, but these guys still get in the building. So I pull away, and yeah, that guy shouldn't be flying like that. So I let him know.
If you're a transport Littlebird, you need to pay the fuck attention where you're going.
I come back around, and you have to keep in mind that we only have 7 rockets for this Littlebird. But these targets are worth it. There's 3 guys at the edge of the barn, put a rocket roughly in the middle of them. It maybe didn't kill him, but it certainly slowed him down. Coming back around, you can see still more of them. This is at least a squad. It could be more, but it's at least a squad. And I've slowed him down and killed at least a few of them. So I pull back around. I don't want to use a rocket here. I want to see if I can maybe get some guns in. And there's my target. Left side of the barn. He's inside the doorway. Let's see if we can get this. I don't know. Maybe. Probably scared him at least. So I peel off to the right, and you'll notice that a lot of times I peel towards this ridgeline here. That's because, as far as I can tell, I haven't taken any fire from it. It's the safest way. I don't want to peel over the town because I know there's going to be hostiles in there. Going to this ridge is like my go-to thing for this round. Now that's the crash site, smoking on the right side of the town. And there may be guys trying to run. Let's see, oh, yep, there's one. So, if it's a sure kill, might as well put a rocket on him. I break up. I start peeling away to the left. I come back around. Now I can see basically that area that I'd been engaging earlier. You can tell that as I get closer to town, I start taking a lot of fire. So I try to stay away from that. The little birds it can't take any fire. You have to be really careful in this mission because even the light automatic rifles they have can take you down if they get a few good hits on your engine. You can see here I've already taken plenty of hits. So coming back around, we can see those guys that I had spotted initially are working their way down towards the town. You can see the smoke where they're trying to mask their movement up to it. We still don't have any comms with special forces, so we don't really know what's going on there. But I can see Tracy's going from that. He's firing at an aircraft, so we'll put a rocket on him. Or at least he's presumed to be firing at an aircraft. I didn't actually see it. So that was probably at least one kill, maybe some wounds over there. I realize it's been flying over this, been taking fire, and I just located where it is. If you see on the left side of the screen, that L-shaped tree formation, at the near base of that leg, there's a guy there. He keeps shooting me, and he's hitting pretty accurately. Now, at this point, I only have 2 rockets left, but the guy knows I'm here, so I need to take care of him. So what I've done here is I've orbited over to where the trees have actually masked me from his view before I turn in. I don't want him to see me, that I'm coming in for him. So now I'm going to give him one of my last 2 rockets, and that should take care of a threat that was actively engaging me. And there we go. As far as I can tell, I didn't take any fire from that after this, so I'll assume I got him. You can see this little, this rainbow compilation of smoke is a pretty good indication that a lot of team leaders down there on the enemy side are popping as many GP smoke grenades as possible to mask themselves as they move up. This is bad because once they get into town, it's not a hell of a lot I can do. We don't have good comms with the special forces. It's incredibly tricky for me to start putting minigun fire or my last rocket into that area. So instead, I just start looking around. I'm going to scan the outskirts of everything and see if there's any other lingering enemies that haven't yet committed to the town or haven't made it there. Based on what I saw earlier, the 2 barns that I just flew over, there's probably enemies still in there. There's probably people tending to their wounds, but there's nothing I can do about it right now. I just have to kind of keep that in mind. That smoke in the little draw leading down that mountain, it has to be hostile. And you can see another one get popped there. But I don't want to waste a rocket on smoke. And I can't really see them right now, so instead I'll orbit around a little bit more. See if I can notice anything on the hillsides, the mountainsides. Find any open targets. There's some trace. I can see someone's firing on this saddle that I'm running in on. I can see there's a bad guy running around there, so I start opening up. I put it at 4,000 RPM, and I'm blasting away. And as I get closer, I can see that one of the things I'm shooting at is actually a medic tending to a wounded soldier. But as far as I was concerned, in the after-action review, they were both enemy combatants. There was no medical process going on there. I think I got killed in action, you know? We don't have time to play by, certain rules. So with those guys down, let's do another orbit, try and figure out what's going on. In a situation like this, the smart op-4, you can see one there on the middle of the screen now. There's a guy that ran out of a tree. The smart op-4 move from tree to tree, take their time, and try to move when I'm on the opposite side of the orbit. The dead ones tend to not do that, and they move in clusters and stuff. When I'm scanning here, I'm really not looking at the individual trees. I'm looking at the gaps between the trees. So yeah, that smoke again. The smoke's been there for so long, I might as well start putting some fire into it. And while I didn't notice at the time, on review I can see that the little satellite engaged earlier. Someone ran out from that and ducked by a tree and started shooting at me. So taking close fire like that, oh crap, this is bad. I got one rocket. This looks like a good target for it. Okay, that kind of run, I have seen so many pilots kill themselves trying to do that. When you're doing a really steep dive like that, unexpectedly, target fixation will kill you. You have to be cognizant of your speed and your altitude. And you cannot get so fixated on the target that you forget about having to pull up. So I made the best I could as fast as I could and fired a rocket and climbed out of there. And I probably got some of them, but you can see in the area they ran to, that little fenced-in area on the building, there's still guys there. And the Littlebird on the right side of the screen just got shot down. And now I'm taking fire from that area. So I break off. I'm going to see if that Littlebird manages to land it. Then try and come in and do what I can to support him. Which may not be anything. We'll see if he even lands it. And he landed it. Is he alive? Oh, there's a guy running towards it.
Littlebird, when did you land it?
I guess a second. He's dead. He must be dead. So, having just seen an enemy Op4, an Op4 player run towards this aircraft, I really have no choice. If I don't take this out, they can fly off with it. So, there we go. It's kind of a Viking pilot's funeral, so to speak. I don't know if I got the Op4, but that's not taking off again. And once again, you get close to the town, you start taking lots of fire. My instruments, my main rotor, and my engine are all kinds of jacked up. But the important thing is I haven't lost any anti-torque. And as long as I don't lose much anti-torque, my guns are still extremely effective. So at this point in time, it seems like most everyone is either at the town or being smart about it. They don't have comms with special forces. It's hard to be effective at this point. It's hard to really figure out what's going on. Right side, where that little fork in the road is, that graveyard, where Alpha seems to have holed up. But there's nothing really to do. No one's giving target indications. There's, it's like, kind of just orbit and hold your ammo and see what you can do later. So now they're talking about extracting. This is a little curious to me, but I don't pay much attention at the time because I assume that everyone on the ground knows what's going on. But in a little bit we'll find out that there was some confusion about the objectives. So now we're looking around. This area should be completely clear. If I see anyone moving at those barns, or the barns on the lower left, it's surprising. I don't expect anything there. Now, closer to town, who knows? Anything moving there, you know, you can't tell if it's friendly, you can't tell if it's hostile.
Copy, I see it. Alpha, disengage to the south and go ahead and start moving towards initial...
And I can see people moving around in the town. I'm pretty sure I see Op4 guys. I think I actually see one Op4 moving close to the crash site. But it sounds like an extract's about to happen, so I'll stick with them for now. So down below on that ridge, I can see Alpha guys presumably. But in the upper right of the screen, it looks like there might be some Op4. So I call it in, and there's so many people down there. There's so many friendlies, and everything's so confused that I can't make a run on this. It's just kind of hoping that telling them what's going on will be sufficient.
The Alpha 2 Overwatch marker looks like it has hostiles on it.
I can see a body down there at the front of where they're moving, so maybe there were Op4. I don't know. At the very least, they had a warning. Now things are reasonably quiet. The key thing here is, even though it's quiet, is you can't be complacent. You can't slow down. You can't go low. There's enemy all over the place. When you're a target, when you're an aircraft like this, you're a target for everyone. And if you slip up just a little bit, it doesn't take much to bring you down. And what do you know? There's Kilroy. So looking down at the town, that bright tin roof building, I see people running around there. I'm trying to identify if this is maybe the Special Forces guys. But no, according to Kilroy, he's not even in the town. He's outside of it. So just to be sure, getting confirmation there's no one left in town.
Remaining bad, dude. If you can pull yourselves back.
But yeah, it sounds like there's no one in town. So those guys are fair game. The problem is they just shot at me. They know I'm going to come around, so I got to do something fast. So I crank it over, come in at him, and now it's going to be just as much minigun as I can put on there, kicking the rudder around, trying to get some shots on him. I see two of them running. That guy barely misses it. That guy barely makes it cover, and then here's this third guy. Ah, man. It was a nice try. It didn't, I don't think it worked out. I don't know for certain, but I don't think it worked out. But at the very least, it was cinematic as hell for those guys. So once again, I'm getting out of there, going low, getting fast away, because their AKs and their RPKs and stuff are really threatening to me. And now I'm going to try something a little different. All I have left is guns, and I know that they occupy that area. If I can get like a shallow angle on them, I may be able to see them running around the streets and hit them from far away. So this ridgeline that I've been flying over, this one I'm looking at right now, I've taken no fire from this that I'm aware of. So what I'm about to do is a little risky, but it's considered. So now I'm coming up, I'm looking at the town. You'll see them maintaining some leftward drift. I'm not completely hovering, so if anyone's shooting me, they still have to have a lead solution. So I'm looking. I don't really see anything. So I peel away. I don't want to be too predictable. I don't want to fire unless I have an actual target, because right now, if they're not looking over there, they may not realize I'm actually oriented towards them. They may think I'm just orbiting around. So I'm going to try another location, and again, this area, as best I know, doesn't have any enemy in it. But I shouldn't linger. So as I set up here, I mistakenly set up on the church, and as I raise up, I realize my mistake and start kicking left rudder. But now I'm basically drifting right at them, so instead of doing my little lateral movement, I just start gaining altitude. And as I watch, I see enemy infantry running around the streets, and I start hitting with 4,000 RPMs of minigun. Now I can't quite see my effects, but it's reasonable to assume that that did some damage. But once again, they're shooting at me very accurately, so I peel out of there and just GTFO. So now, a second ago they've been talking about extracting, but now we've got Alpha moving into town.
So we have friendlies moving into town now?
They'll be going from the church into the town. So it's a real simple route for me. We have the actual crash vehicle, then we have them coming from one side, and we have the enemy set up in town on the other side. It's a kind of a frontal engagement. Not really an easy movement for Alpha to make, but they have a better view of what's going on down there, so they must be making it for a good reason. So here's the thing I alluded to earlier. It seemed like the objective hadn't been done. And, you know, they didn't take the crypto as far as I could tell. Usually you get a message. We hadn't seen the message. They're assuming that because the crash site looks destroyed that the crypto was taken. But yeah, that can't be the case. That's how the mission works. So I'm back up in high orbit, and I'm kind of trying to assess what exactly is happening in the town. The building you see the tracers coming out of,
I believe many of them are occupying buildings for defensive purposes.
like I said, it seems like there's a lot of them that are holed up inside of buildings and shooting out of the windows. This is an incredibly difficult thing to... Oh, see, you can see a guy running out there. But yeah, this is a very difficult thing to deal with, because in reality, taking this minigun and firing it at a building like that would be chaos. It would shred the masonry, it'd penetrate. You would not want to be facing this. However, Arma's bullet penetration model isn't quite like that. The content isn't really set up for it, so the best I can hope for is shooting through the windows. And that's a kind of a tricky proposition. So maybe at some point I'll try that, but for now I'm just kind of orbiting around and seeing what I can see. You have to have patience flying a role like this. You have plenty of ammo. You got a lot of time at this point. Just wait and see what develops. So Alpha doesn't seem to be making much progress. I checked to see if Kilroy's still around, and
Kilroy, are you still up?
it doesn't sound like it. So if Kilroy's down, that means the entire Special Forces team is down, which means that everything in that village, or that town, is hostile. And everything from this perspective right of the crash site is potentially friendly. Which is a clear distinction for now, but shortly once Alpha actually moves into the town, That's going to muddy things quite a bit.
Command Alpha's pinned down on the east side of town. There's too much fire coming out.
And that's kind of what I was afraid of.
Roger that, King.
They're trying to push down through a location that doesn't really give them much concealment or cover against an enemy that's dug into buildings that are literally facing them.
There's no cover between
That, for example, the one building that you see a lot of tracers coming out of, that has 8 windows facing them. There's another building that's to the right of that. There's a courtyard by the Blackhawk, the crash site.
Angel, we still have contacts on EI.
That courtyard has a building that has windows facing towards the crash site. It's a really difficult thing to attack towards. So now I'm kind of deciding that maybe it's worth doing some guns on this thing. Maybe I can, despite the geometry being really poor for this kind of attack, maybe I can use some of my minigun ammo and put some rounds in those windows, maybe suppress them or something.
Am I correct? There are no friendly forces in town at this time, just the ones to the east at the church and the graveyard.
It's really not much. You know, it's not going to help that much, but I'm not doing anything else at this point, so I might as well. I have a fair amount of ammo left. So there's a crash site. The friendlies are in front of me. You can see my hill on my front left. And there's that building. The building in front of it kind of makes it a little difficult. I waste some rounds right there. But, you know, maybe I did something. At least it made those enemies consider that they can actually be attacked by the Littlebird even inside of that building. This sort of situation here is just, it's tough to deal with because you want to do something, you want to contribute to the fight, but there's nothing you can really do. You can fly around and provide eyes,
I don't remember seeing the crypto message. Did anyone else actually see it?
but it's not so helpful. They know the enemy's in town.
I didn't see the message.
I've scoured the hillside.
Looks pretty
There's
beat
nothing
up.
out there, as far as I can
Well,
tell.
they crashed. That's kind of part of it.
So now we're discussing the the crypto issue. I'm pretty sure that they need to still get the crypto, but I don't know. They don't seem to think so.
Regardless, we're gonna get Alpha. They're not gonna budge from that point.
Oh well, I'll just keep flying around, keep looking, see if there's anyone makes a dumb move. There's a possibility that someone in the town might try to run out to the hillside, or might try to grab a weapon of a downed blue for or something that works for me. Oh, and those tracers. Yeah, that came from the building, the small little shed in the courtyard right by the crash site. And that guy seems interested in trying to take me down. He's an RPK gunner, which is why I can see those tracers. A general rule that I use when playing as the bad guys on this mission is if you're an RPK gunner, make damn sure you get some normal magazines and use those if you're shooting aircraft, because those tracers will get you killed every time. And we see an admin message down here that says the crypto hasn't been destroyed. So now all sides are kind of reinvigorated as to what their mission is. So that was a good gun run. Those hit right on the building he was hiding in. But are they effective? It's hard to say. While I'm at it, I spray that other building a little bit, just to let him know I'm still here. So I'm looking down, I'm looking to see if that dude... Nope, he's still there, still freaking shooting tracers at me.
It's good shooting from this range. Jeez.
Hey, he's a good shot to hit me from this far away. I feel firing from that building. So considering the geometry here, what I do is I do a break turn to the right. I'm going to extend away a little bit and come back around to where I'm firing basically parallel with the front windows of that building, because he's not in it, he's standing on the outside. So maybe if I get far enough away I can take a shot. And this will probably work. So let's see. Stabilize. Sight in on that building. It's a little bit more right. More right. More right. And there it is. Oh, rudder. Rudder's a little tricky here. This isn't really a good gun run. In fact, it's kind of shameful. Oh, there we are. We're roughly on target. And I think you could see him run back inside there. I know I didn't kill this guy.
At the front of the
But I was
church
trying.
that Alpha was at earlier.
So now they made a mistake. They used the church, or we used the church as an identifier. The problem is there's two churches. So they're saying the enemy's at the church. What I think they mean is the northern side of town. But what is implied is the little graveyard they're at. So we'll ignore that for now. The purple smoke is a characteristic signature of a Blue 4 team leader firing smoke grenades. So they're going to try and push up on that crash site again. And they're taking direct fire, so this doesn't seem like it's going to work. I'm basically just a spectator at this point. You can see my minigun, got 409 rounds. That's not many seconds of firing. But this guy right here, I bet he thought I didn't see him. He was putting rounds towards the crash site and past it, so he's clearly an Op 4 player. I think I might have seen a green tracer when he was firing, but his position was enough to tell me that he was bad news.
Littlebird is critically low on ammo. I'm saving it for one last emergency.
So like I said, at this point I don't have the ammo to do anything else. I'm going to have to hold on to it, and maybe some other opportunity will require the use of it later on. Doesn't look like they've made progress. Hills are still clear. We're down to this. I mean, if Alpha can't get that crypto, then we've lost his Special Forces team, and Alpha's all gone. It's a bad situation. Blackhawks are trying, or the Seahawks are trying, but there's only so much you can do from a 240 flying at that speed, shooting that far away. You see him dueling with that building still, that damn building. And Alpha hasn't made it into town. This is bad. I keep reiterating that, but this is bad. This is not how you want Schrodinger's to go. Someone should have had the crypto by now. We should have a cohesive ground force. The Special Forces team should have been telling us where they needed stuff hid. But we're way into it. That town is strongly enemy controlled. It's just a matter of time for them to suppress or kill Alpha and buy them the opportunity to get out to that crash site and actually recover the crypto themselves, which is the last thing we want to happen.
Ground, what's your status?
But it seems more and more likely. I can't see anyone at the crash site. If I had a rocket, it'd be very easy to stop them if they ran out to it. Shit.
Was that us or them?
Now I see someone there. Based on the radio, it doesn't seem like it's one of ours. So the last real chance I have is to try and track this guy. I can see the white smoke. I can see him get up and run. He's behind a tree now. He's running towards the church. There he is, going between those trees. He's going behind the church. That guy has to have the crypto. No one else will be booking away from it like that. So I don't want him to know that I'm watching him. But if I can let this guy get further away from town, somewhere far enough away to where I can make it like a safe gun run on him, I might be able to pull this out. It's kind of a Pyrrhic victory, but it's better than nothing. So he's stopped in those trees. Oh, no, he's running. He's running towards a house in the lower left. Going through those trees now, near it. Thought I saw some friends running with him. I'm gonna assume the guy in the lead is my target. So I'm extending away. Might have an opportunity to run in on this guy once I locate him. Yeah, and see, there's more guys. From that left compound where I saw the dude stop, the compound to the right of that, there's two guys now crossing between those.
Fuck. There's more of them.
I'm looking up that wrong compound. Right. There we go. Okay, so there's two guys on the right side of that compound. Someone firing us from the front of it. Now they're trying to do a hasty extract of the ground guys.
Dangerous game.
Okay, so there's the guys that are in the compound shooting at me. They're distractions. There's someone else in there. Where is he? I know that crypto guy's there. There he is. The bushes on the far side of the compound. There's someone in them. There's someone that just ran to them. The guy that's in them is hiding. That's gotta be the crypto. This is my chance. He's stationary. I gotta try it now. This is my Hail Mary. So we roll in. I got a few hundred rounds of minigun. It's gonna go really fast. I got that bush. Gotta get that pipper on it before I'm diving. I'm gaining speed. Rudder's harder. There he is. Right there. And I peel out. Well, not so much. I keep flying down. Now, at this point in time, I don't know. I don't know if that was the guy. I don't know if I hit him. But I tried. And to the best of my knowledge, based on tracking him, and based on little context clues, that was the crypto guy. Our special forces team is dead. Crash site's gone. The rescue force is shattered. One of our aircraft is down. And the enemy holds the field. But as I find out a bit later, the only crypto they recovered got a big fucking burst of M134 minigun right in it. And it's no good.
Air, this is ground. Whatever's left of us, we're heading to the
So
Gulf
personally,
now from the north.
I don't know. Wasn't much of a victory.
See,
It was good enough for me. Not so much for the dead guys on the ground. But flying up nice and comfy in the air, I'll take it. Nice try, Crypto Man. Better luck next time.